Okay, here we have part 2 of the HG Alus Earthree Gundam. And part 2, we'll be talking about the Earth's armor pack for the Alus Core Gundam and anything else I need to mention. And we're going to be taking off the armor parts one by one and attaching on the Alus Core Gundam. So here we have the original Earth's armor pack right over here, like for the Core Gundam. Now this one was actually a flying mobile unit that could be used as a support type, but also contains all the armor parts. But for the Alus Core Gundam, the Earth's armor pack is like well, kit-wise, it's like a block. This is not actually how it looks like in the anime. In the anime, Alus just somehow summons these parts from somewhere, and they basically came out of nowhere and then flew over to the Alus Core Gundam and combined. So, yeah. So in the anime, we might not actually see this block. So, but who knows? The anime series just started, so we might see just more about details regarding that. So I'm going to take this away. So as mentioned, we're going to be going over this part one by one. Of course, there are some parts I need to talk about, because especially regarding the head, because there are some aspects that I was not aware of, or I wasn't really sure how it worked, but now I fully understood it. So let's see how we got. So, but regarding this, basically you need to balance this thing a lot, because this thing is kind of top heavy, so sometimes this thing will fall behind. So, just for the sake of convenience, let's go over the easy one. So, I'm going to take off the top part, which is the beam rifle part, very big part, and then there's actually one more piece right over here regarding the beam rifle, so you need to take this part out as well. Pretty well hidden, if you ask me. So we did that. So the way how this works is that number one, you get this, and on the back of the part, you just need to plug it in like this. Now this is not exactly the best connection, but it still works. And then number two is basically we just need to slide this inside the hole. So you can see there's a hinge there, so you just need to put it there and plug it in, and there you go. You get a very, very big beam rifle, definitely bigger than the Earthree Gundam's version, the original Earthree Gundam's version. So very impressive. Okay, so let's talk about the head. Now the head, you can see there's a separate head on this block, and it looks very different. So you can see there's actually a red sticker, two of the red stickers to be specific. So there's one for the eye and the inside, and then a top head camera. But here we have the original Alus Core Gundam's head. They are very different in terms of design. So even in the anime, I guess I would have to assume that this. He just changes heads on the Alus Core Gundam. He just somehow ejects the head and then attaches this head for some reason, because it's totally different. I mean, when you look at the side, there's actually another extra fin here on the top. So really, yeah, this definitely looks like entirely different head. But who knows? But so for now, I'm just gonna be putting it on the side, and I'll be attaching the head last. And then there's another head on the back. Now this is the part I need to explain. So this is the head, and this thing uses uses 4 stickers, 2 on the side, and then this 3-part section here is actually a single sticker, and then 1 on the head camera. So what this head is for is that if you're going to attach the original Core Gundam's armor packs, and then each armor pack, like the V2 or Mars 4, they would always come with a extra V-fin part that goes on top of the Core Gundam's head, where they connect on the top of the head like this. So this is the head that you have to use for those parts. So for example, in the manual, they use this armor, the Jupitive Gundam's armor parts, and then they attach the V-fin on top of here. So if you're going to use the original Core Gundam's head parts, this is what you use. But once again, for this example, for now, I won't be using it. But it's really good to see that they actually put that in consideration. Okay, so now let's go one by one. So let's talk about the basics. Here we have the front skirt armor. Obviously there's 2 of them. You can just plug them out, and then here we have each 2 purple stickers, purple metallic stickers on the front. So those will be going on the front skirt. And here we have the shoulder armor parts. Very big and more rounded shoulder armor. So here we go. And then they have these purple stickers on front and back, so that's 4 stickers in total. Oh, I almost dropped that. And then the body sections, like the Core Gundam, like the original Earthree Gundam, they have these top parts that you need to take out. And then, oh boy, you have to take them out, and then you need to pull them out. So yeah, as I mentioned, the more I take off, now it reveals the more block section right over here. So we have these that goes onto the chest, and then here are 2 more purple stickers. So I'm going to put that on this side to make it look less messy, and then let's get off the ones that are more easy. Here we have the wing section that goes onto the back, and then here we have the back skirt armor that goes onto the back. And then for the legs, you just need to pull them out, because the way how they're connected is that they have these pegs right over here, and then we have a hole here that you can connect. And here we have the block. Pretty much a basic block. I'm not sure this will actually be seen in the anime, but yeah, here we have the extra hands. As I mentioned on part 1, you can store up to a total of 4 hands. So if you're going to use those extra hands that are from the core Gundam that in the leftover parts, you can always store them in there. So for now, this is pretty much useless, so I'll be putting this away. And if you might have noticed, there's no actual place to plug a action base here. Okay, so we've seen that we have all the parts lying around on the place, so let's go attach them one by one. So number 1, I think I'll go with the legs, because yeah. So for the legs, number 1, you have to do something first. You have to take these parts out first, because these are like extra covers, but you'll see what I do with these. So you need to take them out. They're kind of on the stiff side, but they work. Of course, the feet are, once again, as you see, are like the high heel style feet, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but oh well, it works. I'm actually impressed on how they do with the legs. So number 1 is you need to close the claws up, and then and do this. You basically bend it 90 degrees to the outside, and then you plug it in. Basically, plug it in first. Once you have it plugged in, it should be fine, but just to make sure everything is in place. Yeah, I think everything is in place, and then what you do is basically you do this. You close it in like that, and then you cover up the claw feet. I say that was done pretty well. So once again, you do the same thing onto the other feet, and then yeah, I wish they would have actually had like a click noise when they go in, because it's really hard to figure out whether it's actually properly in or not. But still, I actually did not have any issues with the feet falling off, so that's well done. So we have the feet completed, and since the legs completed, and it definitely gives an extra height on the kit. So since we are on the legs, we might as well finish with the front skirt. So the front skirt, there's a double connection. So there's one for the peg, and then there should be like another extra peg there that goes onto the hole. So you just need to pretty much just attach the front skirts right over here. Now doing this in front of camera is always difficult. If you're doing this alone, it's much more easier. Okay, so we have those on there, and they look pretty good. Okay, so there's nothing you need to do with the actual arms, but I'm just going to take off the arms, because like the core Gundam, or at least my experience with the original core Gundam, I think I had a much more easier time doing this with the arms off. So we're going to attach the body parts. So number 1, and also just to make sure, you need to have these parts extended outside, not inside. So you need to pull these parts out so the armor parts can go in properly. So number 1, we attach this part. Now in the manual they tell you to do this with the arm attached, but I always, for some reason, I always found this to be much more difficult with the arms on. And since I think we can take off the head for now, because we're going to be using a different head anyways. And then we attach the other side, and once again, if everything is done correctly, they will attach perfectly onto the body. And that's pretty much it for the body, which means we can now reattach the arms. Now the arms, as I mentioned on the first part, is that this thing already has the arm guards for the Earth, is already permanently attached. Not exactly permanently, but it's already in on the core Gundam, so no need to worry about doing anything on the arms itself. Number 2 is that we need to attach the back skirt. Just plug it in, and you're good to go. And then I believe now it's not always really clear like where these wings had to go, but as far as I can tell, even the manual is that they tell you to move it up and then attach the wings here, because I guess that's how the original Earthree Gundam worked. So, and then you just lower them back down if you want to do so, because or you can just basically just position it anywhere you want that you feel comfortable. But for now, I'm going to be doing it like this. And then before we attach the head, now sorry about that. Something just happened with my camera, so I had to pause the the filming, but still, so we were back. We were on the part where we had to connect the shoulders. So once again, like the original Earthree Gundam, all you need to do is just pretty much slide the armor piece onto the shoulder parts. So it is kind of tricky to figure out which direction is it, but still, once you get it in, it stays in there pretty well. So no need to worry about any parts falling off. So once again, I just plugged it into the shoulders, and it's a very sturdy connection. So all we need to do is do the same thing onto the other side. Yeah, but of course, as I mentioned, really tricky to figure out like which is the exact direction. So you can see I'm kind of struggling to get it in, but still, when it works, it works. There we go. We have it in on each side. So now there's only one thing left to do, and it's attaching the head. So once again, alright, so we have the fully combined Alus Earthree Gundam. So definitely loving the look. It definitely has that vibe where it is a evil version of the Earthree Gundam. I absolutely love the design. Of course, I would have wished if the feet were like the normal standard flat feet, but okay. But in this case, I'll allow these high heel style feet, which I'm still not sure why they're why there's like high heel style feet in the first place, but still okay. Alright, so we've seen that. Now here we have the weapon. Now I shouldn't be talking about the weapons. So here we have the weapon. So all you need to do is pretty much plug it in and you're good to go. While it is a big rifle, it's not really that heavy. And there we go. There's no shield for this guy, by the way. Anyway, that was pretty much part 2 for the Alus Earthree Gundam combination. Definitely loving the looks. The combination is pretty much identical as the original Core Gundam, but still they did a pretty good job regarding how they do with those extra claw feet where they store it into the back as well. Anyway, this was actually part 2, so on part 3 we'll be talking about the articulation of the Alus Earthree Gundam and do some comparisons and do the one thing that everybody is doing, or at least that the promo pictures were showing us. So once again, I'll be right back with part 3.